Hello everyone, just wanted to go over real quick about how this hypovolemia simulation is going to work. So if you navigate into simulations in Blackboard, you should see this hypovolemia simulation week 2. In here you have your patient's chart where you'll be able to see a lot of information about Ms. Broom and gain a lot of insight. You'll use this chart just like you would the electronic medical record if you were doing a pre-assessment. You will use it to help you fill out your simulation admission ticket. Okay, here's your admission ticket, and you have some reading to do, and then you have some questions to answer. Okay, so some of these are more general questions, and some of them pertain directly to what you just got out of that chart for Miss Broom. So you're going to look at this information we've asked you to read. You're going to answer these questions, and this document is due in by 5 o'clock the day prior to your sim, along with your top 5 medications. And if you are able to get it in, we would also like that blank template of your concept map to make sure that you are all ready to go once we are finished going through the sim. Okay, so that is your pre-work. Then you need to watch this pre-briefing. It's just going to orient you to the simulation lab. This is something that we used to do in person, but this is to help save time on simulation day so that you have lots of time at the end for questions during debriefing, and in this instance for us to discuss the concept map. So you'll watch this video, which is your simulation pre-brief. You'll come at the time that is on your schedule and for your simulation, and then for your post-work for this particular simulation will be collaborating together for that concept map. So let's talk a little bit about what that will look like. So we will all complete the sim and debrief. You will have the information that you got from Ms. Broom's chart, as well as the information that you got from your assessment of Ms. Broom. So this is an assessment information gathering simulation. We are not focusing specifically on medications, although they will play a part in your concept map. This is to gather assessment data on your patient and see what cues you notice to what problem she is having. So each group, you will be grouped into 3 groups. Each group will have an assignment for the concept map. Group 1, I apologize, these are in backward order, and there's a reason for that. That is unimportant right now. So Group 1 will work on the psychosocial and spiritual issues and discharge needs, as well as patient teaching, priority nursing diagnosis with a measurable outcome and time frame, your nursing interventions, that needs to have the in-text citation and evaluation. You will need to put this in-text citation. You will need to list out that entire reference on the reference list, which must be a separate page when you submit this concept map. This is all to be done in APA. The citation and the reference lists are to be done in APA format, excuse me. Group 2 will be looking at the contributing factors involved in the hospitalization, and we will talk more about this after the simulation, but I just want to kind of give you a heads up, get those wheels turning. So you'll be looking at contributing factors, what brought them to the hospital, what's the story? So what made them decide that they no longer could stay at home, and what things may have helped lead to where they are right now. You're going to talk about their secondary diagnosis, the medications associated with the secondary diagnosis, and the concise explanation between the primary medical condition or diagnosis and the secondary. Okay, you'll have 2 of those, secondary 1 and secondary 2, and you will need to put any reference that you have. Oh, and also the medications having to do with those secondary diagnoses. Any in-text citations that you provide will need to be listed as a reference on that separate reference page. Group theory, because you will have the shortest amount of time, because once group 1 is done, they will go and start working on their section. Once group 2 is done, they'll go and start working on their section. Group 3, your section will be primary medical condition diagnosis, the pathograph of the primary medical diagnosis or the pathophysiology. You're going to be looking at the medications associated with that medical diagnosis, and these are the medications that Ms. Broom has, and recent laboratory diagnostic tests, both significant normals and abnormals, why, if they are high or low, and why. And your in-text citations will also need to be referenced fully on your reference page. So this is your different groups, and I will have this document for you the day of the sim. Another thing that you need to see at this point is where to find your Google Doc, okay? So part of your assignment for the hypovolemia simulation is to do a Google Doc to create your concept map. So we are going to go into our concept maps and assignment submissions. This is a video done, a very good video done by Dr. Smith, telling you all about how to set that up. And then here are our Google Docs. So depending on what group you're in, you will pick the Google Doc that corresponds with your group. I'm going to pick this one because it is my group, one of my groups for this semester. And you'll see that it has those same things listed out. Okay, so it tells you exactly what we need. Okay, and you will fill in your answers here. So if you fill in, say you're in group 3 and you're filling in the primary medical condition, this is a Google Doc. So everyone who's in the Google Doc will be able to see what you've written, okay? And you'll have multiple people writing in here at the same time. So, so once your Google Doc is complete, then you'll take that information to create your concept map. Now, I will say, let's look at some of these things. So let's talk about what signs and symptoms you saw as opposed to another classmate. If they're listing out signs and symptoms, so as evidenced by would be one place on our nursing diagnosis. We've got a 3-part. We've got the patient's nursing diagnosis this related to this as evidenced by. And our evidence may be different among the different groups, okay? And that is okay. One person may have seen this in their simulation and another person saw that. It is okay if your as evidenced by doesn't completely match what is there. I want you to write what you saw and what you experienced. Now, this does allow you to benefit from the knowledge and experience of your classmates as well, okay? So this is that Google Doc. Let me show you once again where we found that. So the Google Doc was under concept maps. First you had the video from Dr. Smith and then the Google Docs, okay? And this is the website where we're making our concept maps, and this is where you submit that first concept map that is due within 48 hours of your practicum day, okay? So your admission ticket is due the evening before your simulation by 5 o'clock, along with your top 5 medications, and if possible, that blank templates, just so I can see it. And your concept map is due 48 hours after practicum. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, but I wanted to make sure that you got this information prior to simulation. Thank you.